Hey everybody. So I've been getting a question a lot about, how I got started drawing. And so I thought, hey, I'm going to do this drawing video, my art history drawing. A lot of you saw the painting video I already did, which, painting is something I definitely got involved with way later. Drawing is what I started out at. I still love drawing. It is my primary way to kind of express myself and just create art. Picked out certain time periods of my life and just different types of styles that I used throughout the years. I remember I was really young. I really liked Ninja Turtles a lot. I must have been like 7 or something like that, and I really wanted to play with the action figures, and I think I only had one action figure or something like that. So what I did was I cut out a bunch of cardboard and put white paper on it and drew the Ninja Turtles on these cardboard things, and I used them as action figures, which I was an extremely, I love playing with toys, action figures. I mean, you give me a toy and I was fine for the rest of the day. I was a really easily entertained kid because I could entertain myself. I had a huge imagination early on. It was, must have been great for my parents because I remember playing with my friends and I had a big block of wood and that was my big machine gun. So I had a good imagination, and that's definitely, I feel like, what it all stems from. Drawing is just an extension of my imagination. I mean, and I really am thankful for finding it when I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of start out with kind of these drawings that I did in high school. That's when I started realizing, hey, I kind of got a talent for this. I should really think about, making a career, which is great because I don't think a lot of people realize that young that that's what they want to do for their career. But you get to see kind of, I think, an evolution of how I started out to where I am now, and just how I've gotten better, and I'll try and explain how I got better. Basically, it's by doing a crap load of work. It doesn't feel like work when you're doing it because I enjoy it so much. But so this is the first illustration, which is colored pencil, and it's of Tarzan and Jane flying through the jungle. Pretty awesome. I don't know why I drew this at the time, but graphite and colored pencil, interesting piece. Again, I was just really into fantasy, and coming up with this stuff really was, hey, I'm going to put a sword in the ground next to this guy who looks like he's either just won the battle or just lost the battle. I don't know. This I was probably trying to impress a girl with because it is just a jumbled mess of weird candles and flowers and weird stuff. Again, high school. I don't know what I was thinking then. Partially finished drawing, which definitely happened a lot. I was never somebody who, once I kind of got what I was thinking onto paper, that was really the fun part. Rendering everything out, if I got halfway through something and just decided I didn't want to work on it anymore, it would just go into a bag or into a, back into the tablet, and I was done with it. I didn't need to finish it. Another graphite illustration, again, just some weird guy with a gun. So this is probably the one drawing that everybody who knows me remembers. It won a lot of awards for me, I guess, at the time. I was a sophomore in high school when I did this. It's like some dude fighting a dragon, which, yeah. This is a mermaid swimming with some dude. As you can tell, they're all kind of comic book style drawings. And here's a different style that I did a lot in high school. This is pen and ink. So kind of like a devil guy and some girl, and I think it was he's living under a tree and she's kind of coming down through the roots. I don't know. Kind of an interesting drawing though. I really liked this one at the time. I was really working on different types of line. More pen and ink. So another big influence on me was comic books. And I feel like comic books really helped me learn to draw as well. And a lot of what I did early on was trace. When I was really young, I would trace, and a lot of people, you know, are like, don't trace and stuff like that, but it helped me learn, I guess, how to draw. I just picked it up really quickly because of that. So I did a lot of comic book illustration. This was a comic book that I never finished, which happened a lot to me. So as you can see, it's black and white, or pencil drawings with ink over the top, kind of just traditional comic book stuff. Really just working on how to tell a story. This comic book was, I was kind of really into like medieval stories like Conan the Barbarian and stuff like that, so this was going to go along those lines, but again, never finished it. Left high school, kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, and I got into a little bit more experimental type stuff in college. Teachers really wanted me to try and learn new things, and at first I was really resistant to this kind of stuff. I did not, you know, I liked my own style. I wanted to draw tight. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I probably wasn't the best student too. This illustration right here is done with nothing but scribbles. They were really pushing me to not be so tight and try and really grasp, I guess, the forms and stuff without being so tight. Which this, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of this person, woman, like pulling away from these weird scribble faces. It's all line. Guy kind of being dragged away by these weird figures. Again, you can definitely see a huge style change here. Really working on trying to try new things, and I guess this is watercolor. Again, getting back to tight. This is graphic design. Really learning illustration on a professional level at this point, or starting to. There's definitely a process rather than just being creative. Graphic design is really about that, and I learned a lot about that side of it. And drawing girls in bathing suits was something young men tend to do, and this was an example of that. So I'm in what, first year college, first year college, through all my drawing classes, and then second year I start figure drawing, which a lot of you probably are pretty curious about figure drawing because, you know, you're sitting in a room with naked people in front of you and you're drawing them. And at first it's a little weird, especially if you're a, you know, 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid, and, you know, these people are completely butt naked. But you get used to it real quick. Now, you know, I still take figure drawing to this day, and it doesn't even faze me. In fact, at one point in college, I took a figure drawing class, and we went to the cadaver lab, and I drew cadavers, which some of them had skin, some of them didn't. It was extremely interesting. Didn't bother me really at all. At that point, I think I was mature enough to handle that aspect of things. So we had two models on this one. Kind of just sitting there, interesting. So that was like, you'd have shorter drawings. Most of the time you're doing 20-second or 20-minute like drawings at the most, so you didn't have a whole lot of time to get detailed. This one I was working on composition on. So as you can see, kind of cropped the figure at the head. Really focused on the boobs apparently. No, but it's a good composition. You have nice shapes, negative space in there, really focusing on the negative space and showing that. And this is actually a pretty successful drawing for me. Charcoal illustration, really fun. This is the point where I kind of accepted being loose, especially with figure drawing. Figure drawing makes you be loose because the drawing time to do these is what helped a ton. You only have, you know, you do 1-minute drawings, and that's all the time you had. And that really helps a person who draws super tight like me, you know, not draw tight. So this is more figure drawing illustrations. These are faster ones on the back. just really fleshing out the figure. This is still a little bit more time. You'll see some really fast ones here in a sec. This is how we start every class. Really, the model would just pose, like, I'm talking 1 minute, not even that, 20 seconds is what these were, if that, maybe even 10 seconds, and then change position, and you were just trying to grasp, you know, what their body language was, and put that down real quick. More figure studies. Here's another composition study, really focusing on the negative space. This is more recent figure studies I've done. Kara and I took a figure drawing class, so you can kind of see this one's really fast, and the other two I had more time on. And then this is had more time on that one. You know, along with figure drawing, you get portrait studies. This is a quicker portrait study. I like this one a lot, though. That's why I kind of held on to it. I did so many of these. I don't have 90% of it. Just kept the stuff I kind of liked. Portrait studies. Full figure study. Figure drawing is something that I think is extremely fun. You're going to learn a ton about drawing doing still lives. This was a project where we just brought in some random stuff. I probably didn't have anything else, so I took off my shoe and drew that. And a CD player. That I enjoy doing is if I'm on vacation, like I was at the beach one day and I just decided to draw this boat. So you can draw anywhere, and if you really enjoy drawing, you will. Random illustrations because I needed my fix. So this is some monster dude. Really got a lot better at this point at kind of understanding form and foreshortening and stuff, and definitely figure drawing helped with that, because I think if any of you are out there like drawing right now, foreshortening is really difficult. This is another drawing I did, some warrior guy, kind of a self-portrait too. That's one thing that kind of happens a lot, is you'll realize you see yourself in a lot of your drawings if you're doing drawings of like people. At least I do anyway. More fantasy illustrations. Just doing these in my spare time just for fun. Kind of a weird illustration. I think I was mixing some stuff. Taking all those things I've learned from portraiture and instilling it in my fantasy illustrations. So you can kind of see I'm like using things that, you know, I had learned from figure drawing and learned from doing portraits and everything. And I mean, I'm drawing all this stuff from my head at this point. So this is all drawn from my imagination, which figure drawing, I would say, portraiture, figure drawing, that's really helped me develop basically a kind of a catalog in my mind of how to draw certain things. So, you know, I just pull from that anytime I need to draw something, and you know, I can pretty much, I feel like at this stage in my life I can pretty much draw anything I can imagine. Like anything that pops into my head, I can kind of draw. This was an illustration. I loved this illustration when I did it. And I actually did a painting of this one that turned out horrible. But I really liked the drawing. So this is a recent illustration I did. That is technical illustration. Takes a ton of time to do. It is a process, you know. It's fun, but not in the same way as doing illustration from your mind. The last several drawings I did are very creative, but deeper meaning in these, kind of like really tried to tell a little story with them. I really like doing them. They're really fun. I don't really know what the story of this one was. It's really supposed to be surreal. I really like doing it though. I plan on doing a lot more of these. Really fun illustration, a lot of imagination. Here's another one. This one was based on a song that I really like listening to by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zero. I really just kind of listened to their song and drew kind of put down in pencil what I thought they were singing about, or visualizing what the lyrics kind of talked about. So if you ever heard the song, I don't know, maybe you'll kind of get it. But anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and if you're inclined, subscribe.